All right, next question here. Hey guys, this is Robert. I've been selling commercial insurance for 3 years. I built a book of about 180,000 in annual premiums. Growth is slow, and I'm wondering if I should pivot to a different industry with a faster growth potential. But I'd be starting over, losing all my relationships and momentum. Friends are saying stick with it. My spouse says make a change. I'm paralyzed by the decision. How do you know when to persist versus when to pivot?
Well, you can get it. They call it paralysis by analysis, right? The science there is interesting because people have a heck of a time trying to make a decision. You come to a crossroads you don't know, and so often you don't make a decision, and just time keeps dragging on, like the old Johnny Cash song, "Folsom Prison Blues." So time keeps dragging on. Anyway, and it does, and you go, "Well, it's too late now. I've only got 16 more years before I retire." And you may as well just keep on doing it. And then later but when you have choices, these choices, your brain locks into the stuff, and they get bigger and bigger, and they loom in front of you, and you don't know, and you get tunnel vision. You get this tunnel vision. You can't see outside of this because these things are so up in your grill. And then you get this paralysis by analysis thing, and you're just a wreck. You can't decide. I don't know. Yet. And but there's this retrospective vision is what scientists call it. So you just go past it, just leap over mentally, just for fun, and you can always come back to being all locked up. That's fine. You can always come back to being paralyzed. But just for fun, just for a moment, just go into the future. Imagine a cool future. Life is working out the way you want it to. And from that position, you look back at this choice and you go, well, which one got me here? Which one was the right choice? And you see it, like you're probably imagining something right now that you have a question with. And so if you look past it into a cool time, I'm enjoying life. It's how I want it to be, how I imagine it being, in a good sort of way. And you look back and, well, which was the right way?
Mhm.
You see it immediately. Your instinct knows exactly what the right choice is. And there you go. That's how I found to do it. Works really well. You just did it yourself. And everybody watching can do it too. Uh, yeah, there you go. It's like I wish they would teach this to kids in high school or anybody trying to make it this like career. Like, because they always ask, well, what do you want to be, Johnny, when you grow up? It's like, I don't know. Do you want to be a fireman? Do you want to be a football player? Yeah, no, you don't know. But I remember when I was a senior in high school, they took this inventory, and it was supposed to help determine what it is, what career you should follow. Like when you go to college, what are you going to do? And so I did this, and months later, it takes them months to do the analysis, I guess, run it through the old computer system back when. It took a long time. But anyway, so months later, I was meeting with the guidance counselor, and it was my turn to go, right? And so I go in there, and I'm excited to go because it's like, finally tell me who I am, who I'm supposed to be. And he sits down, he looks at me, he looks at the file, he goes, yep, I got the right guy. John, right? I mean, I went to lived in a small town in a small school. He knew who I was. He was also the track coach, all these things. It's interesting. Back then, you could smoke in school, not students. They would smoke in the restrooms, but the teachers in the teachers' lounge, man, smoke would billow out of that thing. And also the guidance counselor had an ashtray on his desk. He was smoking it. And also across the hall was the nurse's office. And so I go in there, and he's looking at me. There's smoke in the room, and I see him eyeing the nurse over there. I know he has no interest in me. He's got really more interest in making time with the nurse. But that's so anyway. There's the setup. There's the environment I was in, and then he opens the file, and there's this pie chart, and it says career wheel, and so. And a career is divided up into these like little pie slices, and I don't remember what they are, but he goes, oh, we've got 3 good choices for you here, John, and based on all this detailed analysis and a deep dive into, looks like you'd be a great accountant. And I thought, never thought of that. And I go, oh, okay, well, that's something I never thought of. What's the other one? He said, "Well, it looks like you'd make a good mortician, an undertaker." And I went, "Okay, what's the third one?" He goes, well, it looks like you'd make a good forest ranger." And I went, "That's it. Forest ranger's the life for me. Where do I go?" And so that's where I went to college, and I signed up for the pre-forestry program. It's like that's how people decide on careers. And then they spend however many, God only knows how many years in college, and then they get out and they're working in it. They try it really hard to get a job being a forest ranger, and then you become a forest ranger and you go, for however long, and something nagging at you, right? Like, this doesn't really feel right for me. I mean, I
Mhm.
like the outdoors, but I have a tough time. Tough time affording a Porsche. I can't have a home at the beach.
Mhm.
So now what do I do? So what I wish they would do is add into these decisions that kids make, like, what's the lifestyle? And I know today everybody either wants to be a rapper, or whatever. I want to make $1 million. Okay, well, that's fine. Then fine, kind of. But let's be, what's the lifestyle, the style of life that you really want to live? And then from that, and you go, okay, what, as I look back, what got me here? What kind of career would be, something that gets me the money, the time, the downtime to explore things that I love to do, and something that I'd find personally challenging in a good sort of way. And I'd want to spend my time doing. And it might be being an accountant, but now I know, okay, this version of an accountant means that I need to be able to afford a Porsche and a place at the beach. Okay, so at least I know when I get into accounting, I need to be on a path that gets me a certain place. Or if I'm going to be an undertaker, I better have people better be dying to see me, or I got so excited there, the camera's shaking. Or if I'm going to be a forest ranger, I go, okay, well, that's not the typical forest angle. I better get into this, and in a certain niche sort of way that it funds the lifestyle I'm looking for,
Mhm.
rather than just getting into these things as everybody does in the standard typical sort of way, and then realizing this isn't the life that I wanted to live, and then have to chew a lot of gummies to put myself out of my misery. I mean, that's what people do, right? That's what they're doing right now, all over the world right now. They're doing it. And now that that stuff is legal, it's like, I don't have to find the right career. I can just escape. I can just get a whole bag of gummies. Yeah, I can be a forest ranger, sit out in the woods, just under a big old pine tree, and just eat gummies by the handful.